Welcome to part 2 of our journey around Central America.
At the end of part 1, we indicated that we didn't really like Cancun that much. But to be fair, it was the only place that we saw some Mexican culture. And it was where Kieran ate fried crickets.
What is it?
It's cricket.
What does it taste like?
This is mystery cricket. Tastes like nothing else I've ever eaten before.
Yum. Right.
I'm not gonna try it.
Anyway, back to the tour. Armed with fresh recruits, we headed towards the famous site of Chichen Itza. Once again, Birgit secured us with one of the best guides. But being this close to Cancun, she couldn't organise the site to ourselves. However, that didn't matter because the site was really beautiful.
This was the first site that we saw a lot of evidence of human sacrifice. Apparently, Mayans didn't practice human sacrifice, but Chichen Itza was conquered by the Toltecs in late 900s AD, who did.
Classical Maya period is 300 till 900, so 920 is the post-classical period. They came here with a new god, that god Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent, a god from the Valley of Mexico, a Toltec god.
The resulting mingling of cultures saw the construction of this city, which has some really amazing architecture. Chichen Itza was also where we encountered our first and only cenote, which is a large pool of water, and we were told they were sacred.
Well, actually, I thought it was just going to be like a normal well. You know how people get water out, but like bigger, but not this big. And I expected the water to be cleaner, but it's like green and murky and yuck. And you're going in.
Oh well, back on the road again, heading towards Merida, a beautiful city where we were to spend Christmas. We loved Merida. To us, it felt very different to anywhere else we'd been. There used to be a Mayan city here, but when it was conquered by the Spanish in the 1540s, the pyramids and temples were dismantled to build this cathedral.
Known as the Cathedral of San Ildefonso, it is one of the oldest on the American continent. You can still see some of the bricks that carry Mayan symbols. It must have been a powerful message to the Mayans to see their city torn down to be rebuilt into this impressive cathedral where you worship a god that sacrificed himself for humanity, rather than sacrificing humanity for your gods.
Christmas Eve was really wet, but it didn't stop us having a party on the roof of our hotel and celebrating Alex's birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alex.
Christmas in Mexico. It was a fun time, and we made up for the absence of a tree and lots of presents by playing a Christmas game. I really scored big with a cool CD. Cue the music now. Tropicalissimo!
Y ahí te voy, prietita. Y ya sueño con tu carita y mi almohada. Por Dios que sí. Yo te he de querer, prietita, ya te traigo aquí clavada. No importa que digan misa, tampoco que...
Whew. Fully recovered, we next journeyed to the truly impressive ruins of Uxmal.
The name Uxmal means thrice built in Mayan, referring to the construction of its highest structure, the Pyramid of the Magician. Built on an elliptical base, this pyramid is the result of 5 superimposed temples, which was typical Mayan practice as they often built new temples over their old ones. Uxmal was one of the largest cities of the Yucatan Peninsula and at its height had a population of around 25,000 people.
At the end of the ruins tour, we returned to a real toucan institution, lunch by Begit, which also meant dishes by us.
It's very delicate, John.
Mucky water.
One day somebody will invent a dishwasher.
Before we set off to our next destination, Campeche, we visited a normal Mayan family.
This was a chance to really experience what life is like here for the majority of these people. We were made to feel welcome and actually learn some useful stuff.
Oh, wow. Wow, check that out.
The elder ones, if you know that, I grew up with it. Without synthetic ropes.
Yeah, we had a hay.
That afternoon, we arrived in Campeche. This was once an important port city for the Spanish. Once they had plundered the Mayan gold and precious metals, it became a busy slave port.
The real trouble for this area came with the discovery of a dye in logwood, which grew in the forest near Campeche. This proved to be a rare commodity which generated a lot of wealth for the port, the sort of wealth which attracted unwelcome attention from pirates. In fact, the whole history of this area is dotted with attacks which set the city sacked and looted.
Things got so bad that the King of Spain was eventually forced to build fortifications to protect the city in 1668. Fortifications that took 20 years to build. All these cannons still couldn't keep Brewster out. Just kidding, Brewster.